Lately, Jungkook has given us a couple of moments that left many thinking. He only posted 2 Instagram stories, and that was enough to get everyone talking. The first song he uploaded was Stay by Gracie Abrams, a soft song with lyrics that make you think and feel at the same time. It's the kind of song that isn't shared for the sake of sharing, it carries an emotional charge. If you know Taehyung, you know he also likes this type of music. In fact, this isn't the first time he's shared similar songs. Then came the second story, with another song. This time it was Weather by Novo Amor. And again, a nostalgic, soft song, with that mix of calm and emotion. If you listen to the song with your eyes closed, you can almost imagine Taehyung. Because even if they don't say it openly, it's clear they share playlists, or at least they know exactly what music the other likes. But of course, as always, comments appeared from some who are always focused on other things. People who barely see anything from Jungkook immediately associate it with their favorite. Every song, every gesture, everything is transformed into something supposedly related to him. They started saying that Jungkook shared those songs because he was missing his favorite, that maybe he was going through something emotional, that maybe he wanted him back. But the truth is, it has nothing to do with it. Jungkook shared those songs because he liked them. There's a constant need to insert the favorite into everything, as if Jungkook couldn't have his own emotional life, as if everything he does had to revolve around that. The thing is, some people are so obsessed with their idea of Jungkook that they distort everything they see. Because the truth is, the strongest connection Jungkook has shown in recent years, both emotionally and personally, has been with Taehyung. And we're not just saying that because of what they upload on social media or what they show on camera. We say this because the small details, the ones that really matter, always end up pointing in that direction. The type of songs they listen to, the number of times they're mentioned, all of that adds up. And those who followed Taehyung for a while notice it without being told. When Jungkook shared those songs, it's likely he was simply feeling something he wanted to express. Maybe he missed Taehyung, maybe he was feeling nostalgic, or maybe he just wanted to hear something that felt good. But not everything has to have a far-fetched explanation, not everything has to be related to his favorite. You have to know when something is a sign and when it's just an assumption. What is clear is that Jungkook and Taehyung are still connected. Even if they aren't sharing moments in public all the time, even if they don't post photos together, that connection is still there. It shows in the songs, in the gestures, in how they express themselves even when they don't name each other. A relationship that doesn't need explanations or forced proof. I also wanted to tell you something I was watching and that I found super interesting. You know, when it comes to Jungkook and Taehyung, there's always something different, something that's noticeable without them having to say it. When Jimin and Jungkook recorded Are You Sure in Sapporo, they were on the plane but in separate seats. Each with their GoPro, filming themselves separately. They weren't interacting or sharing the moment in a special way. It was as if they were traveling with the same group, but without sharing much with each other. When they arrived at the airport, Jungkook walked in front and the favorite was a little further back. At one point, when they saw there were cameras, the favorite put his hand on Jungkook's as if telling him to slow down and walk side by side, so they could be recorded together, but you could tell it was more deliberate than natural. Later, when they returned from Vietnam after recording Are You Sure Too, something similar happened. As soon as they noticed the cameras, they leaned closer together, as if to look closer. But in reality, each of them went their own way, there wasn't much connection, and in the end, they even left in different cars. It was clear they were each doing their own thing, with little intention of being together beyond what was necessary. Now, when you look at how Taehyung and Jungkook behave, it's a different story. Even though they arrived at the airport separately, once they met, it was as if everything fell into place. They walked side by side without rushing, without needing to agree or say anything. Jungkook, who normally walks quickly, this time kept pace with Taehyung. It wasn't because anyone asked him to, he did it because he wanted to, because being next to Taehyung is something that simply comes naturally to him. And that happens often with them. There's a calmness between the two, a way of moving together that needs no explanation. It's not just that they seem good as a couple, but that they understand each other. They care for each other, they support each other, and you can tell there's a real connection. It's the kind of thing that doesn't need to be said out loud because you can already see it in the way they look at each other or the way they act around each other. You can see it even in the smallest details. For example, when they were on the plane, Taehyung uploaded a video that Jungkook later also posted from Taehyung's account. And the crazy thing is that doesn't happen with everyone. There might be nice moments with other people, but Jungkook and Taehyung have a different vibe. It's like they don't have to make an effort to fit in. It's like they've been walking together for years and already know what the other needs without having to say anything. When they're together, there's a comfort that can't be faked, and a kind of calm that you only feel when you're with someone special. Plus, it's not just about how they look on camera, but everything that happens when no one's recording. Jungkook can be among a lot of people and still choose to walk with Taehyung. He may be in a hurry, but if Taehyung slows down, he slows down too. And that's not something you do out of obligation, that's what you do when you care about the other person. And that's why, when you see Taekook together, everything makes sense. There's no need to compare, or force theories, or look for things where there aren't any. Their thing just shows. It's something that's there, that you feel, and that you see. Because when you truly care about someone, it shows. And Jungkook and Taehyung take care of each other like someone who cares for someone they love. They walk together, they respect each other's time, they share moments, and that can't be faked. When two people act in front of others, you can sometimes tell they do it with a certain intention. As if they want the other or others to see something specific, as if they're trying to impress. But when two people truly understand each other, they don't need to act. That's what happens with Taehyung and Jungkook. They don't constantly seek each other out for attention, they don't do it for others. They seek each other out because that's how their connection works. Because their bond isn't a strategy or an act, it's a way of being. For years, they've been used to being around each other. The closeness between them is natural, effortless. Touching, looking at each other, laughing together, even staying silent together, all of this is part of their everyday life. It's not strange or unexpected. It's simply their way of living together. And when something repeats itself so much, so often, and so consistently, it stops feeling like a coincidence. It becomes part of a routine, something that belongs to their shared world. With Taehyung and Jungkook, there's a calm that you feel even when they're not speaking. There's a tranquility in the way they move together, in how they understand each other without needing to explain. It's not just that they look good when they're next to each other. It's that they accompany each other. They care for each other in a way that goes beyond the superficial. Sometimes you only need to see a look or a gesture to realize everything that exists between them. It's not those striking moments that define their relationship. It's not a hug on camera or a shared laugh in front of an audience that says it all. What truly reveals their bond is the sum of all the small gestures. The glances, the way they search for each other in crowded spaces, how one turns their head to see where the other is. All of this builds something that isn't visible to the naked eye, but is there. Those who follow Taekook closely know that these aren't just spontaneous moments. There's a kind of pattern to what they do. A structure that, even if it's not immediately visible, is repeated every time they're around each other. And that's the interesting thing, what seems casual actually makes sense when you look at it closely. The way Jungkook sometimes stays closer to Taehyung than to the others, or how Taehyung reacts to Jungkook's mood swings without anyone having to say anything. It's as if they each know each other's rhythms. As if they know when to speak, when to be silent, when to touch without needing to say I'm here. It's easier to understand this if you think of them as a couple, because then everything fits together. And it's not like they have to go around saying it with words. It's not something they shout from the rooftops. But they express it with their bodies, with their eyes, with the way they are together even when no one is looking. The connection between them doesn't depend on whether they're on stage, in an interview, or in a more intimate setting. It's always present. You can always feel it. Some might think they're just good friends, and it's okay for each to have their own interpretation. But when you pay attention, you realize there's more to it. It's not that they want to prove anything, but they end up showing it anyway. Because their closeness isn't a coincidence. It's the result of years of sharing, of being together, of getting to know each other. And not everyone achieves that level of synchronicity. There are moments when everything becomes more evident. Like when they're in a group and without saying anything, one looks for the other. Or when they're in the middle of an activity and laugh at something only they seem to understand. Those things can't be rehearsed. They're not part of a script. They emerge because there's trust, because there's history, because there's something real behind what you see.